Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the online Sunday service. I really would like to see you in person very soon. Do you know what is this thing? This is very old. My father's Dharma name card. I think it's made more than 50 years ago. It says, my father's legal name and Dharma name, who is your guide, and so on. Our third head Dharma master cherished his Dharma name card very dearly. Do you know where you place your Dharma name card now? Maybe from the perspective of the universal truth, it's far more important than your social security card or passport. Yeah. So today, I would like to talk about the meaning of meeting the Buddha or Buddhadharma. This is what really happened in the suburban area of Chicago. One very cold, snowy night, one lady took a train with her baby. She was not familiar in that area, so she asked to the conductor, I'm supposed to get off in so-and-so train station. Since she was very tired, she fell asleep immediately. And when she woke up, the train stopped in some station. And she asked to the gentleman next to her, is this that station? The gentleman said, yes, it is. But she did not have the time to ask to the conductor. He's not in her car. And the train left. After some time, the conductor came to the car and asked to the gentleman, where is that lady with the baby? He said, she got off some time ago. The conductor got shocked and stopped the train because that train station she got off was already abandoned one for a long time ago. That train stopped there to check the engine and other mechanic. So the conductor, along with several of his crew, immediately went to that train station and they discovered she's already dead with her baby because it's very cold, snowy night. Let's think about why she died. She asked to the wrong person. That gentleman probably would like to help her, but he did not know quite sure. All this misfortune started. Her asking to the wrong person. So what about our life? On a daily, weekly, yearly basis, we make some decision. Some decision is not that important for much. So I would like to have salad or soup. Will I buy iPhone or Galaxy? It does not matter that much. Some decisions, for example, should I marry that person? What would be my major in college, etc.? That's very critical decision. In order to make some decision, we think about what is the best path. But we do not have to think for ourselves alone. In many areas, we can ask some person. For example, when I first moved to the Won Dharma Center, how can I know what's the best bank? I just asked to our member. Or how can I download some documentary from YouTube? I do not have to search or think about it. I can just ask Minsa, our IT minister. But what is the path to eternal freedom or happiness? The happiness that's perpetual and unconditional. This is a very, very important question. But the problem is, we are not quite sure of the path, and the person around yourself do not know that exact path. That is the problem. Even from my junior high period, I realized my mother or father really cared about me. But for many things, I cannot ask them because they don't know in many areas. My first workplace was a Seoul Meditation Center in Korea. That's the time we don't have the iPhone in order to check the weather forecast. We have to watch the morning news or read the newspaper in the morning. So in my diocese on Sunday, we're supposed to go on a picnic with other ministers. I was the youngest at the time. In the morning, I saw the weather forecast on the morning, from the morning television news that in the suburban area of Seoul, it would rain. But we had a lot of bags. And most of the senior ministers told me, well, I have lived in Seoul for many years. You do not have to worry about that. It does not look like raining. But in the afternoon, we are all caught in the rain. So, for many things, instead of following or basing our judgment on the majority, we have to listen to one wiser person who really knows. Our founding master said, I did not even graduate from the elementary school, but this one thing I know quite sure, how to make a Buddha. In this area, I know very sure. And the Buddha said, Pati Sodagami. This is Sanskrit means Pati Sodagami means swim against the current. It means we practitioners are not supposed to follow the deeds of the majorities. After Korean War, in mid-50s, the Korean society was in chaos in many areas. And it was not safe for young lady to go out at night, depending on the areas. One American woman got a flat tire in Seoul, And she had all the equipment in the trunk, the spare type jacket, etc. But she did not know how to change the tire. So while she was struggling by the road at night, one truck stopped behind her car and came out a very tall young man in a ragged, tattered clothes. And she was afraid, and she immediately hid herself inside the car and locked the door. So the young man knew what's going on in her mind, and he made some gesture, you do not have to worry about that, and I will help to change this tire. That young man turned out a car mechanic, so it's a piece of cake to change the tire. When he was about to leave, the lady came out of the car and she realized he's a very good Samaritan. And she expressed a lot of gratitude to him, and who are you and where do you work? So she would like to give her some money, but he said, you owe me nothing. I am car mechanic, so it was very easy job to me. And he left. Several days later, in his auto shop, several Americans visited. That Caucasian lady's husband was the army general, the American army general, and he came with his men, with the several soldiers, and the guy was very scared. What's wrong in my shop? But the general expressed a lot of gratitude. You really saved my wife in the night. And how can I help you? And he said, well, my job is to buy some used car. And after fixing that, selling is how I make money. Then if you have some car you'd like to discard, why don't you give those used cars or trucks to me? After some time, that auto shop started to get a lot of cars, a lot of vehicles. Some trucks are in very good shape from the military compound. Based on that, he made a lot of money and expanded a new business. Do you know who the story is? Hanjin Heavy Industries, Korean Airlines. He passed away a long time ago. He became one of the richest person in Korea. So on that night, he happened to meet the lady. That really changed his destiny. How do you think you're meeting the Buddha or Buddha's teaching? But if you won some lottery, you may think you're a very lucky person. But think about the destiny of the person who won the lottery and all of a sudden they became very rich. Whether it's the Korean statistic or American statistic, more than 90% of the people who won the lottery ruined themselves because of that money they made. So meeting the Buddhadharma, meeting the Buddha, is really like hitting a jackpot, because we discovered the path that really leads to eternal happiness and freedom. Actually, not many people in this world really knows that. There are a very important event or occasions we celebrate in our life. For example, your wedding day, the day you first have your first child, etc. But the real celebratory event in our lives is the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas coming in this world. Saints and the sages come in this world to help the suffering people. That's why last Sunday we observed the Vesak, the Buddha's birthday, and Christmas is the national holiday in the whole world. When I was in elementary school, when I was in the second grade, the teacher asked us, why don't you write down what you are thankful to your parents? So I thought, well, I do some errand for my father. He gives me some pocket money, something like that. I could not write more than 3 items. But later, I discovered paying the rent, providing all the food, etc. It is all my father did. I didn't realize that because I was not mature. So if we do not deeply grateful or we do not know how we are grateful to meet the Buddhadharma, we are very, very immature person. Our founding master Sotasan said, if you really know me, then you will cry like a child, shedding tears of gratitude and joy. You will jump around, you will dance for delight. If you truly know me. When I was in elementary school, probably that's in my 8th grade, the Bruce Lee's movie started to be imported to Korea. So he's a huge hero in our class. I loved Bruce Lee's movie. I was enwrapped Bruce Lee spirit. So I bought the nunchuck. It's very expensive. It cost a fortune to the elementary school boy. And he was my model. But after I entered the junior high, I lost all those things. So let's think about who's your role model in your life? Whom you would like to copy in order to live your life very well. Jesus said, what good is it to gain the whole world if you lose your soul? Our role model should be Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas, the saints and the sages, because they are really the person who realized the universal truth and dwell in the happiness and the freedom that's really perpetual and conditions. Think about rich and famous person. So in Korea, when you ask who is your role model, if you ask to young people, they usually say singer or movie star. These days, a YouTuber. Famous YouTuber is their role model. But do they live a very happy or free life? It isn't. I heard this story from my teacher. In front of his temple, one dog was hit by a car. And that member was very poor. He did not have the money to bring that dog to the vet. So the dog's hind legs got dislocated. So it started to, his hind legs became stiffened, and the dog walked, dragging its hind legs. The next year, that dog gave birth several puppies. The owner of the dog discovered those puppies, all those puppies walk, dragging their hind legs. He thought, is that genetically or hereditary? He brought those puppies to the vet. The vet said, there is nothing wrong in their bone, but the puppies just copy how their mother walk. Even though in their bone structure they have nothing wrong. If we just mindlessly copy how the people live, think, then maybe we may walk just like those puppies, dragging our hind legs, even though we are originally, just like the first world of the Buddha's world, perfect and complete within ourselves. So in Buddhism, they say there are 3 difficulties. Being born as a human is very difficult. And meeting the Dharma is also very difficult. And even though we meet the Buddhadharma, giving rise to a great faith is also very difficult. It's 3 difficulties in Won Buddhism. So I think we already meet the Buddha and the Buddhadharma. Meeting the Buddha does not mean that the name of the Shakyamuni Buddha is Gautama, or our founding master's name is Sotaesan. They say meditation is the mind of the Buddha. Scripture is the words of the Buddha. And the precepts are the actions of the Buddha. When you actually meditate, when you actually invest the time to study and contemplate the scripture and observe precepts, living mindfully and ethically in our life, that is the true meaning of the Buddha. So, let me show you one more time my father's Dharma name card. So if you already have a Dharma name card, after this service, why don't you take out that from your closet or drawer and read your Dharma name and think about what's the meaning of the Dharma name, what is the significance of meeting the Buddha in your life. Thank you.